playing Phoenix Wright again tonight. I hope you guys enjoy as usual. Let's pick it up right where we left off last time. Okie dokie. December 27, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, apparently the prosecution is also ready. Who is the judge here, anyway? Mr. Von Karma, your opening statement. Very well, no opening statement, so... Not so fast, Judge. I was taking a meaningful pause before speaking. Right, of course. A prediction. Today's trial will end 3 minutes from now. Order! Order! Mr. Von Karma, what is the meaning of your statement just now? Yeah, hold on, because I realized I didn't have the chat open on the side, so... Right, at least that way I can monitor this. Must you question everything? It will be over in 3 minutes. We have no time to waste. I'll call my witness now. Right. I call my witness, my decisive witness, to the stand. Decisive? Decisive? I never know how to pronounce that. It's that mysterious boat shop owner. Witness, state your profession. I am the proprietor of the restaurant The Wet Noodle at Gourd Lake. And I also rent boats. The night of the incident, you were in the boat rental shop, correct? Yep, I was. Please testify. Wait a second. We still haven't heard who this old guy is. Wait a minute, the witness hasn't stated his name yet. Because I did not ask him. Mr. Wright, I have predicted this trial will end in 3 minutes. Stop asking trivial questions and cooperate. Yeah, right. The witness will state his name. Well, I'm not really sure. Yep. What do you mean? My, memory? Your Honor, the witness does not remember anything beyond the last several years. Ergo, he cannot recall his own name. I'm pretty sure you can't witness in a court of justice without knowing your own name. You can't recall, you say? Hey, RNG. I'm doing great, thank you. Other than the fact that I missed the Nintendo Direct earlier. I'll watch it after the stream. I've been looking everywhere before starting to stream to see if I could find a recording of it, but I couldn't find one. But I wanted to start before it was too late, but I didn't want to start streaming too late tonight, so I'll watch it after. Let's hear his testimony then, shall we? Witness? It was the night of the 24th, just after midnight. Yep. I was in the restaurant where Hi, Brinny. Yeah, long time no see indeed. Hi there. How are ya? I was in the restaurant where I, rent boats as usual. Then I heard a bang. Yep. When I looked out the window, I saw a boat just floating on the lake. Then I heard another bang. Just about then, the boat comes back to shore and a man walks by my window. No, not yet. No, I missed it when it was live, and when I wanted to watch it right after it was done, when I could finally watch it, well, it was already over, and I couldn't find a recording of it without some people talking over it. So I will, hopefully it will be available to watch, like, not live, but the recording of it, like, after I'm done streaming this. There is nothing to question in my witness's testimony. Ergo, no need for cross-examination. Besides, there are only 10 seconds left before our 3 minutes are up. Judge, your verdict now. Yes, Mr. Wright? Yeah, when I tried to find it on YouTube on Nintendo's own official channel, it wasn't it. They were still streaming live, but 1 minute ago. Yeah, but I didn't check 1 minute ago. Yeah, when I did, it wasn't available yet. Well, I will watch it later then. Very well, you may begin. Excuse me, Mr. Von Karma? 3 minutes just passed. I see. Well then, let's just take our time. You may cross-examine the witness. Night of the murder. It was the night of the 24th, just after midnight. Yep. I was in the restaurant where I rent boats, as usual. Then I heard a bang. Yep. When I looked out the window, I saw a boat just floating on the lake. Then I heard another bang. Just about then, the boat comes back to shore and a man walks by my window. Yeah, okay. It's time to press for details on these things. It was just after midnight. I know I'm not gonna do nah, no, I won't. No, because you guys have already watched it more than likely, and it doesn't make much sense to not react to it when it's not live anymore. Pretty sure, yep. When I talked to you yesterday, you were rather vague about the time. I'm surprised you seem so sure about it today. I asked him, and he remembered. Isn't that right? Don't glare at me like that. I remembered it clearly, I did. Yep. You see? Continue. Wait, he says just after midnight? I will save before I go any further, but that doesn't make sense because the first bang... that contradicts the first photo that was taken at 11:50 p.m. Right? It does, doesn't it? It does, but it does! If it's not the thing that the game is programmed for you to do, then it won't let you do it even if it makes sense. A restaurant? Is there anyone who can verify that? Well, I guess Polly could. Mr. Wright, exactly what's not good enough? Your Honor, this Polly is a parrot. A parrot? Don't be so hard on the girl, Keithy boy. Keith? Prosecution concedes that we cannot prove the witness was in the shop. Witness, please continue. Then I heard a bang, yep. And where did the bang seem to come from? He's sleeping again. From the lake, I figure. Are you certain? Yep. Good. Continue. When I looked out the window, I saw a boat just floating on the lake. It was dark. How did you see it? Was there someone in the boat? It was pretty far out there. I couldn't see clearly. But I figured there was two men out there, yep. But you couldn't see them clearly. Yep. At the time, that is. At the time. Then I heard another bang. So you heard 2 gunshots total? Yep. That's what Lola said in her testimony yesterday. Just about then, the boat comes back to shore and a man walks by my window. By your window? Yep, by my window, right outside the window of my little shack. And could you see the man's face? Well, the fog was pretty darn thick, but he was right there in front of me. I saw him. This is a rather important detail. Please add it to your testimony. I have a bad feeling about this. That man was a defendant. He was saying, I can't believe he's dead. Are you sure? Uh-oh. Dad! Dead certain, Keith. He said, I can't believe he's dead as he was walking by too. Witness, are you sure that the person you saw was Miles Edgeworth? It was him, the Edgeworth boy. Oh. This sounds like decisive evidence indeed. I see no room for doubt. Von Karma, you lured me into cross-examining so he could set me up for a fall. Nick, I don't like the way things are going here. Everyone in the courtroom is glaring at us. I'd better act quick or this trial is going to be over. But an objection on what? The guy is completely deranged. Your Honor, we proved in yesterday's trial that it could not have been Edgeworth who fired that gun. Mr. Wright, are you referring to the fingerprints from Edgeworth's right hand found on the gun and the photograph showing a man firing with his left hand? Exactly. That is easily explainable. He could have wiped his prints after he fired. You are ignoring the truth of the matter here. Everything in this witness's testimony is true. The judge is lost in thought. What should I do? Still raise an objection. I don't know why, but that seems like the right thing to do. Your Honor, this witness claims that Edgeworth said, I can't believe he's dead. But his words is all we have. His word is all we have. If he were telling a lie... Mr. Wright, in a court of law, the evidence tells all. Apparently you have yet to realize even this basic fact. If you say his testimonial is a lie, show us proof. Well, I have proof. Yeah, he had 2 gunshots and the murder weapon fired 3 times. Says the evidence. It's no good. There's nothing I can do. Are you sure? To be honest, I don't know what to do anymore. Please, can you hear me, sis? Please. We need your help. Nick needs you. 3 minutes was perhaps too high an expectation. However, 15 minutes isn't bad. This must be a new record. Enough. The witness may leave the stand. He's asleep. Wait. This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial, nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. What? No! This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Wait, I lost? The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at a higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. This court is adjourned. Oh. Wait! But it's too late if the verdict has already been given. Me? Huh? What? Larry? What are you doing here? Listen, you gotta listen to me. I was there in the park the night of the murder. I wasn't sure about it until just yesterday, but today I remembered it. Remembered what? The gunshot. I heard it too. Order! What is the meaning of this? The verdict has been decided. I call for adjournment. One moment, Mr. Von Karma. So you say you heard a gunshot? Yeah, I did. A gunshot that night. I was sitting here in the audience listening to the testimony. Then I realized something he said was different from what I remember. Anyhow, I can't just sit here and let you call Hedgie a murderer. It's just not right. I'll testify. Let me testify. Order! Order! Well, this is the first time something has happened like this in my court. I'm not quite sure how to proceed. Judge, you've already given your decision. The trial is over. Nick, this is it. Larry's given us one final chance at this. She's right. If only it wasn't Larry, it could make things even worse. Mr. Edgeworth was just declared guilty, Nick. It doesn't get any worse. You're right. Okay. Your Honor, if there is another witness, it is our duty to hear him speak. Right here, right now. A waste of time. The verdict cannot be overturned. Allow me to speak my opinion. In all court proceedings, it is our duty to prevent an inaccurate verdict. In order to make sure no mistake has been made, every witness should be heard. What is this? Justice? You don't like justice? I withdraw my previous verdict of guilty. Mr. Von Karma, I order you to call this new witness to testify. Now. What? He's not used to being ordered around by a judge, I think. The court will adjourn for a 5-minute recess. After that, we will hear this new witness. Court is adjourned. My cat wants to get out. Always at the worst moment. Can judges really withdraw verdicts? I'll look it up. Yeah, if you will, please. Yeah, I wonder about that. I'm not sure. Once the verdict has been given, I think you can't. Whew. That was too close. Sorry to keep you on the edge of your seat like that, Edgeworth. I've seen worse. Yeah, right, Edgeworth. You're sweating bullets. I just wonder what Larry plans to say in there. Larry was at the lake that night. Yes. He said he went looking for the steel samurai balloon that flew into the lake. Oh, right. And he found the balloon and the air tank that night. Yeah. Hey, Edgeworth. Huh, you say something right. Yeah, a lot of things. You seem out of it. What's wrong? It's nothing. Mr. Edgeworth, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. What's that? Why are your fingerprints on the murder weapon? Oh. Yeah, that's like the first thing you should have asked, really. When he fell into the lake, I went into a daze. I couldn't understand what had happened. I couldn't think straight. Then I saw the pistol lying on the floor of the boat in front of me. I picked it up without thinking. I didn't have a reason, really. I see. Right. Yeah? This might be our chance. Our chance? Von Karma has only ever run perfect trials. Perfect trials? Perfectly prepared witnesses, perfectly complete evidence. That's the secret to his success. This is the first time he's ever had to deal with something unexpected. He has to let someone he hasn't even talked to testify before the court. And that someone is Larry. What are you getting at? It's likely his testimony will be full of holes, right? That's right, Nick. No 10-minute trial this time. We'll milk this one for all it's worth. Hey, it was 15 minutes. 15! Everything's on Larry now. Court is now back in session. Witness, please testify to the court about everything that you saw on the night of December 24th. Right, leave it to me. Please, Larry, don't mess this one up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. Von Karma didn't even have time to prep his witness. I just hope Edgeworth is right about this being our big break. Isn't the defense allowed to have witnesses come to testify, by the way? It's always the prosecution in this. Okay, apparently a judge can change the verdict over certain circumstances, at least in the USA, don't know anywhere else. Well, this is where it's supposed to take place in the case of the, well, at least in the case of the Western localization of Phoenix Wright, so, yeah, okay. Fair enough then. I was looking for something and I found it, so I quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental shop dock. That just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat, so after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. That was an unusually vague testimony even for this court. In any case, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Ah, yes, that reminds me of something. Yeah, one of the two bangs wasn't a gunshot. It was the thing that was inflating the balloon that went bang. So only one gunshot was fired, but the murder weapon was fired 3 times. So that's an even bigger difference. It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. I'm a little scared. Well, we've come this far. There's no way to go but forward, Nick. The night of the murder. That night, I was out in a boat on the lake. Hold it! Something wrong, Mr. Wright. There were so many things wrong, I don't know where to begin. Well, okay. First of all, what time was it? Oh, it was after 11 when I went out in the boat. By that time, everyone had gone home for the night, so I waited until the coast was clear, so to speak. And why were you out on a boat at such a late hour? I was looking for something and I found it. Looking for something? Yeah. Mr. Butts, what was it you were looking for? What the witness was searching for is irrelevant. Most likely he was hunting for this Gordy. That's surprisingly close to the truth in a sense. This is all irrelevant. Let's get it over with. No, actually it's not irrelevant. So I quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental shop dock. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. Well, Nick? It was a pretty wishy-washy testimony, wasn't it? I guess I should just start working on the contradictions. Sorry. I wish I could be more helpful. I wish I could call my sister. Around what time was that? Well, let's see. I figure I was out searching for about an hour. I guess it was around 12? Yeah. You're not sure? Hey, don't give me that face. I'm not some sort of human sundial, okay? People use watches these days, Larry. And just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. Where did the sound come from? Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure about that. I looked around, you know. Did you look at the lake? Yeah, I looked. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. Wasn't there a boat on the lake? Order! Order! Well, Mr. Butts? Whoa, everybody just calm down, okay? I mean, it was real foggy that night. I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not. Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, it is important, but... Single gunshot. Objection! But the murder weapon was fired 3 times! Hey! Single gunshot. You said single gunshot. There is a contradiction. So you only you only heard 1 bang, correct? Yeah. Huh. Well, Nick, it was a pretty wishy-washy testimony, wasn't it? Yep. Oh, come on. There is your contradiction. Yeah, he says single gunshot. Yeah, okay, yeah. That contradicts the testimony from Lota. Okay, yeah. Right. But it contradicts the murder weapon as well. Even more so. You only heard one bang, you're sure. That's what I said. But Miss Lota Hart testified yesterday that she heard 2 bangs. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard 2 gunshots that night. Huh? Were you even listening? Were you paying attention at all to what they said? Yo, Nick, please. Huh? You know something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here. So you got to treat me nice and stuff, okay? Mr. Butts, what? You only heard 1 gunshot, are you sure? Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. Eh? Not sure? How could you not be sure? Yeah, well, I might have missed the other gunshot. I was, listening to something else. Something else? My radio, dude, with my headphones. What? You didn't have to tell them that. Order, order, and stop that booing. Mr. Butts, you were listening to the radio with your headphones? Yeah, so what? That a crime? I listen to my radio. Everybody listens to the radio. What's the big deal? Mr. Von Karma, your opinion? Waste of time. I do not accept this witness nor his shoddy testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, should he continue the testimony? Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his testimony. Bah! Nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who doesn't know when he's lost. Very well, Mr. Butts. Please give your testimony and be sure to include details like your radio. Right, leave it to me. I wouldn't if there were any other way out of this, believe me. What Larry heard. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to an all-request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud like. But I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. You were listening to your radio at a high volume? Yeah, what's the big problem? Can't a man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't this a free country? I truly believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is. Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drum beat from the radio. True enough, it is difficult to believe this testimony. Wait, Your Honor, the witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot. Excuse me, DJ? An announcer, the guy who says things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is, when he heard the sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Wright. I can't believe I'm continuing this charade. What Larry heard. I'm gonna press it on this, but... So you turned on the radio. Right. I just wanted to hear someone's voice, you know? I don't know what it's like out there alone on Christmas Eve. Alone. I shouldn't have said anything. That's why I was listening to an all-request show on the radio, see? Do you, by any chance, remember the name of the program you were listening to? This has nothing to do with the case, Your Honor. Objection sustained. The witness was listening to the radio. That is all we need to know. Tell us, Mr. Butts, how loud was your radio set to that night? I was listening to it real booming loud like. Real booming loud? Yeah, you know. And you had headphones on. Yup. I wouldn't think you could hear anything going on outside at all. But I'm sure I heard that gunshot. Why are you so sure? Can you prove that? No, of course you can't. No, I can't prove it. But I remember that moment real clear. I mean, while I was talking about it, it came back real clear to me, you know? I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. And what was he saying? Mr. Wright, please cease these pointless questions. What possible good could knowing what a radio DJ said to us? Indeed, Mr. Von Karma has a point. I'll allow the question only if you see some reason why we should care. We should care because it tells us at what time he heard a gunshot. We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should. Why? Well, how do you know if we don't ask, hmm? Fine, very well. Mr. Butts, please testify to the court. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard a gunshot? Just when she said, hey, it's almost Christmas, I heard a gunshot. This is the most ludicrous testimony I've ever heard. But there is one gleaming ray of hope in there. I've got to press it until we get to the bottom of what happened. I should think that this is the bang from that photo. It's not really a contradiction, but... Nah, it's not gonna work. Nah, it wasn't gonna work. Maybe the testimony? She heard two sounds like gunshots just after midnight on December 25th. Yeah. On December 25th. She heard them after midnight. Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? Huh? What's with the face? You look scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you'd better know I don't scare that easy. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, hey, it's almost Christmas when he heard the gunshot. Indeed, and almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve. That would seem to be the case, yes, but that contradicts the two testimonies we have heard so far, Your Honor. Both Miss Hart and the old man said it was after midnight when they heard the shots. In other words, when they heard the gunshots, it was already Christmas. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor. Order! Order! What does this mean? The two prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, this witness says he heard a gunshot before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious. What? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butt's claim he heard the gunshot before midnight? He's right. Because the camera was triggered by a big loud bang sound. We have proof of that. He heard that gunshot before midnight. Intriguing. I am assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight. Take that! Take that! Look at this photograph. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Loda Hartz, with her automatic camera. Timestamp on the photo reads December 24, 11:50 p.m. Oh, but there is nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It is why this photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Aha! Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That is why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely still Christmas Eve. Indeed, it would seem that that is the case. And where does that leave us? Miss Hart testified that she heard the gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken? Not at all, Your Honor. It is the fact that the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were two sets of gunshots with a 25-minute pause between them. Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. That camera was set to respond to loud noises. Yes? There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why the witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera? Hey, my nose was clear that night, man. Clear. Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. And I've got the gauge in the top right corner. Yeah, but you guys could probably not see it. Ready to take points off of me? Can you prove that the loud noise at 11:50 p.m. was indeed a gunshot? Please show me the court evidence if you have any. I don't know. This? Is that a smirk I see? Your Honor, sorry, I wasn't really sure about the evidence. Don't show us evidence you aren't confident in, Mr. Wright. I'll ask you again. Can you prove that the loud noise at 11:50 p.m. was indeed a gunshot? Let me reload it. I can't really show the picture again, can I? This is my evidence. The murder weapon? Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. The 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. Actually, I think it isn't. I think this is a mistake. Order! Order! That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you, why? Uh-oh, I'd better think of something quick. Wait a second, gunshots separated by 25 minutes? Oh! What's wrong, Nick? I have it, but I don't. Remember the case with the steel samurai? Huh? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya? Yes? If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch, and I'm going to run with it. Right, I mean, is this safe? Safe? We've already gotten the guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick. Your Honor? Yes, Mr. Wright. The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? So you finally realize the truth. There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, and it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie, take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on the lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat. I admit it is hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says, 15 minutes after midnight. But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the 2 men on the boat are. The murderer and Hammond. No, that can't be Hammond. Of course it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. What? Are you serious? Yes, Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why I didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous. Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name, right, it's... The truth of the matter is... At this point in the story, I don't know. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't know? Bah, again you waste my time. I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. At 11:50 he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of this crime was not on a boat? What? Well then, where did the murder take place? It would have to be at the docks, I should say. Around here, maybe? Maybe, Mr. Wright. And does this maybe include the reason why the killer would choose that spot? Well, it wasn't accurate enough. The shack? That way he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing. Objection. Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. That night he was out on the lake in a boat searching for something. He finds it and returns the boat. Then just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. Yeah, that makes sense too, because that way you could hear it with the headphones on. Hi, Arby. Sorry, I didn't see your hello right away. Hi there. How's it going? And where would that be if he had just returned a boat? The boat shop. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his... He called Robert Hammond to his shop. This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. Totally good? Don't tell me anything, I haven't seen it yet. The E3 Nintendo Direct. I intend to watch it right after I'm done streaming, because I couldn't watch it live, unfortunately. And in between when it ended and when it was time for me to start streaming, the video wasn't live yet on their YouTube channel. The recording of the live stream of the Direct, if you will. So I haven't seen it yet. I intend to watch it afterwards. So please don't spoil me anything. But yeah, I guess it would have been good, yeah. But I'm doing good otherwise, yeah. He became Robert Hammond. Yeah, not gonna spoil me, yeah. Well, I hope so, yeah. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Yeah, I also read the other day that like the entire like E3 presentation got leaked before it went live, but I didn't watch the leak either, so I didn't want to go in like knowing already in advance what to expect. So there you go. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. And who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright? It was Miles Edgeworth. Nick, how could that be? Wasn't the old man holding the pistol? Yeah, good thinking. That was easy, Nick. What I'm worried about is what you're thinking. Of course it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? Details. Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. To create a witness? Yeah, because that way the camera wouldn't have time to take a second photograph. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Mrs. Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's sweat coat back on the body and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly. Haha. Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said. Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important? I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. Your Honor, sir. Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either. What? What should I do? Find him quickly! We cannot allow him to get away! Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared. A search warrant has already been issued. It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned. December 27th. 1:22 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Yay, Nick, you did it! Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony, still he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. And I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth. No, there's so little time left. I want to tell you to get it off my chest, but... I can't make up my mind. What's this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a murder. Yeah, but not that same night. It's something else. Okie dokie. Alright, well I have enough time to do at least that portion until the time that of the third day of the trial. That should be fine. What was Mr. Edgeworth talking about? A memory of a crime that I committed. A memory of murder. Do you really think Mr. Edgeworth killed? I don't believe it. Not Edgeworth. Some painful memory has been troubling him recently, but he'd never take someone's life. Never. Yo, how's everyone doing? What did you think of my performance today? I had him swooning in the aisles, huh, Maya? Swooning? Me? Oh yes, I do remember feeling faint. Right on, tell me the truth, it was like love at first sight, right? Right, Nick? Huh? Me? Well, maybe my heart skipped a beat or two. I think you can do better than that. Come on, I saved Edgeworth in there, dude. Edgy. You guys should be bowing before me, yeah. Bow before your hero. Larry, you really helped out in the trial today. You did. If you weren't there, Larry, I'm sure Mr. Edgeworth would have been found guilty. But seriously, Nick, that boat shop caretaker guy is pretty suspicious. But Edgy ain't off the hook yet. Wait to spoil the mood, Larry. Hey, I'm just a guy sitting in the audience, you know? But from where I was sitting, Edgy seemed pretty edgy. I mean, can you really know he's telling the truth about that night? Nick, I don't know. But what I do know is, I'm going to believe in you two until the end. Us two? Edgeworth and who else? You mean me, right? Nah, he means me, right, Nick? Yeah, you, Larry. Not me? But why you, Larry? Huh? Actually, yeah, why me, Nick? Enough with the silent treatment. Nick, why do you trust Mr. Edgeworth so much? I mean, he's changed recently, true. But when we first met him, he was kind of a jerk, don't you think? You didn't know him back then. Back when he wanted to become a defense attorney. Wait, was that when you two were classmates? Yes, in grade school. They saved me. Miles and Larry. They saved me and I'll never forget it. That's why I became a defense attorney, you know? What? Hey Larry, what's he talking about? Huh? Sorry, I kind of forgot. Okay, Nick, out with it. I'm going to hear this story today and that's final. Okay. It's kind of a long story, so hang in there. It was the very end of 3rd grade. I was on trial, a class trial. A class trial? You remember, Larry? Spring, end of 3rd grade? A kid in our class got his lunch money stolen. Lunch money? Our school was really small. Every month, kids would bring in an envelope with money for lunch from home. I see. Anyway, this kid's envelope disappeared, with $38 still inside. Oh yeah, now that you mention it, I do remember that. I can see why you'd forget though. You were out of school that day. Anyway, the envelope had been stolen during PE class. I was coming down with a cold, so I'd skipped PE that day. I was the only one not in class. So they thought you did it. Yeah, the kids in class said I should be put on trial. Trial? So the next day we held a classroom trial with me as the defendant. I didn't do it. Guilty. He did it. Guilty. It was you. Give the money back. You're such a meanie. No one will play with him. Just admit you did it. You can't hide the truth. Tell us the truth. We're not gonna play with you anymore. Yeah, no borrowing my eraser. It shouldn't be allowed in the relay race and blah blah blah. Give me back my 50 cents. I'll owe you. Now, Phoenix, you know you shouldn't steal people's money. It's not right, said the teacher. In the end, even the teacher thought I'd done it. Go over and apologize, Phoenix. I didn't know what was happening. I was so sad. I couldn't stop crying. Everyone was staring at me like I had done it. I tried to apologize. I went to where the boy whose money had been stolen was sitting. That's when it happened. Objection! You shouldn't have to apologize. The only thing that belongs in a trial is evidence. Anything else has no place. You should all be ashamed. Amateurs. Miles? You can tell he looks like the son of a lawyer, even in class, in grade school. It wasn't you who stole my money, was it? No. Then you shouldn't apologize. Everyone's been shouting you did it, but no one has any proof. This is why, Your Honor, this boy is innocent. But Miles, it was your money that was stolen. Yeah, he did it. We don't need proof. Make him say sorry. Why don't you all just shut up? Ah, that was Larry. This is always how it is. Everybody ganging up and picking on one person. Just think how he feels. He said he didn't do it, so he didn't do it. Very well, I will replace the money myself. This class trial is over. That's how it happened. After that, the three of us were the best of friends. Wow, I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea either. I mean, I forgot. That's when I learned what it meant to be alone. Totally alone without a friend in the world. You did a good thing, Larry. Yeah, well, I was just lucky that I took the day off from school. If I had been there, they would have thought I'd done it. So I took it kind of personally, see? When something smells, it's usually the butts. After the trial. Anyway, Edgeworth and I talked after that class trial. That's when I heard his father was a defense attorney. I remember his eyes would shine when he talked about his father. I'm going to become a defense attorney just like my father, a famous defense attorney. Then a few months later, he suddenly transferred to another school. The DL6 incident. Right, I'm not sure, but the transfer probably had to do with his father's death. That's so sad. It was several years later when I heard Edgeworth's name again. There was an article about him in the newspaper. The headline was something like Dark Suspicions of a Demon Attorney. Fabricating evidence, manipulating testimonies, covering up facts. The article said he'd do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything. But why? What happened? I mean, that's not the Edgy I used to know at all. That's what I thought too. I tried to get in touch with him I don't know how many times. He never replied. I guess I didn't want to see his old friends. I couldn't just drop it though. I wanted to meet him to learn why he had become who he became. Yeah, poor Edgeworth. His father died. That's when I decided. Wait, you don't mean... That's why you became a defense attorney? To meet Edgeworth? If I was a defense attorney, I knew he'd have to meet me whether he wanted to or not. In court. Edgeworth believed in me, and I believe in him. He's in pain, and no one's on his side. I'm the only one who knows the real Edgeworth. I'm the only one who can help him. Why, Nick? So, is that why you helped me out for free? Yes. I helped you because I believed in you. Except I don't remember saying I'd do it for free. Oh, Nick, we have to save Mr. Edgeworth if it's the last thing we do, okay? It is dark, yeah. It gets darker and darker as you get to the end of the game, of the first game, yeah. The cases that you have to the things you have to defend in trial become darker and darker. First, there's that rental boat shop caretaker. We need to find out who or what he is. I'd sell it for who? I guess I can clean out some of this evidence I no longer need. Okay, let's go. When this game came out in Japan on Game Boy Advance, it was the last case. Then when it got ported over to the Nintendo DS, they added an extra case right after that one. So there was one more in the first game after this one. But this case is where the game ended originally on Game Boy Advance, when it first came out. And then there were more games in the series after that one, but the story arc of that first game, it's just as big as this one. It's quite substantial, yeah. And when it came out on the DS, they added, like, that case had like some extra functionalities, like you could examine the pieces of evidence in 3D. Like, for example, here the pieces of evidence are just like 2D art, but in the extra case that they added for the DS, you could rotate the pieces of evidence in 3D to look them from every angle, searching for clues. I think there was something to do with the touch screen where you had to dust for fingerprints and then blow on it, or spray luminol to detect like blood stains and that sort of thing. They added extra gameplay features for that extra episode, and I think from what I've been reading that it's included in this port, in this HD port. But it's gonna miss, like, or perhaps it's not missing the touchscreen stuff. I would have to try it actually in portable mode maybe to see if it's included. Quoi? Non. C'est quoi comme match? Oh non. He's out again. When does he work anyway? Now, don't be harsh. Guess we'll have to come back later. Let's go see Milesy. December 27, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. You look as grim as always. Mr. Edgeworth, I heard the story about the class trial. Class trial? What do you mean? You don't remember? No, I don't. Your lunch money was stolen, wasn't it, in 3rd grade? Lunch money? Oh, alright. Yes, I seem to remember something like that. Nick, I think you're the only one who really remembers. Well, it probably only really mattered to me anyway. Mr. Edgeworth, didn't you know? That trial was the reason Nick became a defense attorney. Ridiculous. Gee, thanks. Maybe we see today. I doubt that I will be done with this one today, with this case. I think I won't have enough time. I have like 1 more hour to stream, and I think that case is still gonna go on for longer than that. It does sound like the kind of thing you do. You haven't changed a bit, have you, Wright? So simple. To a fault, even. Well, maybe yeah, but I think you changed too much, Edgeworth. Perhaps. Why prosecute? Hey, Edgeworth, why did you become a prosecutor anyway? You used to look up to your dad. You said you wanted to be a defense attorney, right? I couldn't let myself deny reality like you. What do you mean? My father was taken from me, and you want me to defend criminals? I'm sorry, Wright, but I'm not that good of a person. One suspect was apprehended in your father's murder, right? Yes, the man trapped in the elevator with my father. His name was Yanni Yogi. He had to be the shooter, any way you look at it. Yet, he was found innocent. That defense attorney got him off the hook. That would be Robert Hammond. On that day, 15 years ago, the 3 of us were trapped in that elevator for 5 hours. When we were rescued, we all suffered oxygen deprivation. I had lost all memory of the murder. Lost your memory? Even now, I can't recall what happened in that elevator. That was the crux of Yogi's attorney argument in court. He claimed Yanni Yogi had been not of sound mind due to the oxygen deprivation. Do they seal elevators tight with no ventilation in that country? Yogi was released due to a lack of evidence. Innocent. That's when I changed my mind. I started to hate defense attorneys. What's your relationship with Von Karma? He's my teacher, and a man who deserves respect. I learned everything I know of courtroom techniques from him. So he's like my sister was to you, Nick. He is a perfectionist in all things. In court, in his personal life, he is obsessed with doing everything perfectly. Perfectly, huh? In all the cases he has taken on, none were left unsolved, and not one suspect was declared innocent, ever. But that's... I know. It's possible some of the suspects were indeed innocent. However, it is impossible for us to accurately determine that in every case. All Von Karma does is his job to find the suspect guilty, perfectly. In any case, it's impossible to find a weakness in him. Should a weakness appear, he would do everything in his power to make it go away. Edgeworth, if what you're saying is true, you're headed for a guilty sentence tomorrow. He's right. Now is no time to praise the enemy, Mr. Edgeworth. It's a strange situation in which I find myself, I'll admit. No kidding. It was that case that changed my life. And tomorrow on December 28th, its statute of limitations runs out. Tomorrow, could that be a coincidence? No, it isn't. But even if the case is finally closed on paper, it will never be erased from my memory. Never. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. No, I'm not gonna show him a photograph of his dad dead inside the elevator. That would be pretty tactless. Let's see. Let's go back there. 727, Gourd Lake Park entrance. Hey pal, long time no see. Oh, Detective Gumshoe. Close one today, eh? I got so worked up I snapped my tie in half. Sorry about that. No prob, pal. Thanks to you, we now know who really did it. You mean the boat shop caretaker? Look, I'll make you a promise. I'll have that scoundrel in my custody by trial time tomorrow. Come what may, it's my duty to you as a police officer. Now I am off to catch me a criminal. Detective Gumshoe sure is active today. Oh, one other thing. No one can go into the woods today. The woods? Well, look, I was camping. The woods are off limits to camping, and apparently the park ranger found out. He got pretty mad. No one can go in for a while. I guess Loda is in a lot of trouble. Anyway, I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Huh? Steel eyesore is missing. Eyesore? Looks like the hot dog stand is closed too. I guess Larry's too busy worrying about Mr. Edgeworth to show up for work. Let's go inside. That old caretaker got away. Yep. I never imagined he might be the real murderer. Ahem! I'd know the clearing of the throat anywhere. Aha, hello! What might you be doing here? Out for a walk, hmm? Ah, the days of my youth, like the scent of fresh lemon, you see. Mr. Grossberg, this is no time for idle reminiscing. Mr. Edgeworth's trial ends tomorrow. That is true, yes. But from what I saw of today's trial, Edgeworth should be fine, right? Well, I'm not so sure about that. Oh ho, what do you mean by that? Well, I'm not sure. If you find anything out, come by my office at once. I may be able to offer you some assistance. Thanks. Bye. What do you think Mr. Grossberg was doing here anyway? Who knows? December 27th, caretaker shack. Nobody's home. Hello, Bert. Hey, it's Polly. I wonder where your owner's gone, Polly. Hello, Bert. Can't believe it run off and leave his poor parrot to fend for herself. Hello, Bert. Well, I guess there are some cookies on the... Ah, yeah, but cookies are actually really bad for parrots, apparently. Like, you're not supposed to feed them, like, cookies and crackers and that sort of thing. Apparently, it's really bad for their health. Oops, I wasn't supposed to move. That reminds me, Nick. Polly here knows the number to the safe, right? Yeah, that's right. Polly, what's the number to the safe? 128. Let's open it, Nick. Come on. I'm sure there isn't any money in there. Oh. But hey, he keeps it locked, right? So there must be something of value in there. I'm not so sure. Okay, Nick, let's see what's in there. I guess there might be a clue or two. The only thing in here is a letter. A letter? Oh, boring. There's no name or signature on this thing. It's handwritten. Very precise, clear letters. Get your revenge on Miles Edgeworth. Edgeworth? Nick, why would Mr. Edgeworth's name be on here? How should I know? I'm going to read the whole thing. Get your revenge on Miles Edgeworth. It also says, this is your last chance. Now is the time to get revenge on the two men who ruined your life. The rest of the letter goes on to describe the murder plot in detail. How to kill Robert Hammond and frame Edgeworth. Calling Edgeworth out to the lake, getting on the boat, firing twice. This is exactly what I figured out today in court. It's all here, in perfect detail. What do you think it means, Nick? I don't know, but it looks like these are instructions for that caretaker. When he killed Robert Hammond and called out Edgeworth, he was following instructions. But who could have written that letter? And what does it mean to get revenge on Miles Edgeworth? Look, I don't know, okay? But one thing's for certain. This letter is an amazing clue. Oh, yeah. Yeah, indeed. It's proof that that Edgeworth was framed. Ah! What's wrong? Oh, never mind. What? Tell me. Just, when I saw the TV, I remembered. They were showing the Pink Princess special this week. Oh. See? That's why I didn't want to tell you. That fishing pole looks expensive. Maybe we should bring it to Detective Gumshoe. Don't you think the caretaker would mind? Well, we can just leave him the metal detector in exchange. Huh. Maybe we'd better not. Maybe I should take care of Polly, Nick. You probably shouldn't just kidnap her. The police know about her anyway. I'm sure they'll do something. Well, okay. Sorry, Polly. He says I can't take you. Great, now the bird's going to hate me. Doesn't look like he used this kitchen much. You're right. I guess the whole pasta restaurant thing was a lie. What, you thought he was telling the truth? That looks like a restaurant to you. Say, Nick, don't people usually put pictures of fish up on the wall to post about them? Yeah, I guess so. You mean pictures of the fish they caught, right? Right, but don't all the fish on the wall here look really puny to you? Well, you know what they say. You should have seen the one that got away. Except the one that got away from us was the caretaker, and we did see him. Why do I feel like we're having two different conversations here? Kotatsu? Everything's cold. Looks like he didn't turn his heater on. I guess he hasn't been back here since the trial. He's not hiding in the woods, right? There's a forest here beyond these bushes. Nick, the forest! There's someone in there! You're right, there's a few policemen in there. They must be looking for the caretaker. Good luck. Yeah, the boat rental shop. Doesn't look like anyone is around. The caretaker must have run for the hills, huh? Yeah, looks like it. It didn't seem like a bad person. What if he is the real criminal? Hey. Guess Larry has today off. He was pretty happy about saving Mr. Edgeworth. True, we owe him big. Yeah, I haven't been here yet. December 27th. Criminal affairs. Looks like Detective Gumshoe hasn't gotten back yet. Gumshoe? He won't be coming back today. Oh, really? He said there was some guy he had to arrest by tomorrow, the boat shop caretaker. He shouted something about catching him if it's the last thing I do, pal. Good luck, Gumshoe. Hey, is that the police department's mascot? That's the Blue Badger. It was my idea. I made it. It's my mascot. I see. How nice. Tomorrow I'll present him before the department at last. I'm going to make sure they know how much people like the Blue Badger. Good luck. Detention center. Maybe. Edgeworth. See this letter? This came out of the safe in the shack where that boat rental caretaker lives. I see. Revenge on me? Who is that old guy anyway? I don't know. Could he be an innocent defendant who got declared guilty or something? Nice, right? But I don't remember that old man. Not at all. So he was following this letter then. Which means there was someone else behind it. Now is the time to get revenge on the two men who ruined your life. Two men, meaning myself and Robert Hammond. It also says, this is your last chance. Last chance? Wait, maybe he's talking about the statute of limitations on the DL6 incident. Wait, that old man. What is it? Do you know who he is? Yogi. Could he be Yogi? Yogi Bear. The suspect in the DL6 incident, the one who was found innocent. Maybe we can ask about it now? Ah, yeah, there we go. Yanni Yogi was a court bailiff at the time. We just happened to be in that elevator together 15 years ago. The quake was incredibly strong. Before I knew it, everything was dark. We were there for so long it felt like forever. The air thinned, and the darkness closed in on us in that little box. We became unsettled. Help! I can't breathe! Quiet, I said quiet. You're not making this any easier. I want to get out! Help! Get us out! Don't shout, you just use up more oxygen. That's all I remember. When I came to, I was in a hospital bed, staring up at the ceiling. In court, Yanni Yogi's mental condition was called into question. They claimed the oxygen deprivation and stress had caused temporary insanity. In the end, the claim passed the court and Yogi was found innocent. Huh, but isn't that strange? This letter tells him to get revenge on Edgeworth. Why would he want to get revenge on you? Right, yeah? There's something that's been troubling me these last few days. I didn't know whether or not I should tell you. You mean the nightmare? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a murder. I think the time has come to tell all. For the last 15 years, I've had the same dream almost every night. I wake up in a fearful sweat every time. What kind of dream? It's a dream about my father's killing in the dark. Help! I can't breathe! Quiet, I said. Quiet, you're not making this any easier. I want to get out! Help! Get us out! Don't shout, you just use up more oxygen. I can't breathe! You're using up my air! What? Stop breathing my air! I'll stop you! What? What are you? Stop breathing my air! No! Father! He's attacking Father! Then I see the pistol lying by my feet. I don't know if it was evidence from that day in court or the bailiffs. In a daze, I pick up the pistol. Get away! Get away from my father! And with that scream, I wake. It's a bone-chilling dream. A scream that has rung in my ears for the past 15 years. But, it's just a dream, right? Right? That thought is the only thing that has kept me sane for the last 15 years. But what if I'm wrong? What if it's real? They said that sometimes people shut out memories in self-defense. Maybe it was I who killed my father. What? If you think about it that way, this letter makes sense. Get your revenge on Miles Edgeworth. Think about it, Yogi was really innocent. That's why he wanted revenge against me. Wait, Edgeworth, you mean... It was me. I was a true criminal of DL6. I shot my father. This is bad. What are we going to do, Nick? What can we do? I don't know. I don't think there is anything we can do, like it or not. If there's someone else who knows a lot about the DL6 incident, maybe. There is, Nick. There is someone else who knows about DL6. Yanni Yogi, yeah, but he's not there anymore. This is who she's referring to. Oh yeah, Grossberg said something about helping me. Oh, but yeah, and he would know, yeah, actually, yeah. I was thinking about it for a completely different reason, but, actually, yeah, that makes sense. Like they left Nick. Yeah, I know. Well, no time to waste. Let's get going. What do you think we should do now, Maya? You would know best, Nick. Just do what you do. That should work. Well, and had any good ideas? This is all tied to the DL6 incident. We'd better find out as much as we can about that murder before tomorrow. Something that happened back then has a hold on Edgeworth, and it won't let go. And then I think after that I'm supposed to go look for more clues about the case itself in the Criminal Affairs Department. Mr. Grossberg. Hello there. What's wrong? You look troubled. No kidding. I can't believe you're not. My. Just calm down and tell me what's happened, hmm? It's Mr. Edgeworth. He... That's what he thinks, anyway. I see. So, Edgeworth dreamt he shot his own father. It's only a dream. Only a dream. I wonder. What? If that's the case, then why do you two look so troubled, hmm? Well, also consider this. Yogi quite certainly holds a deep grudge against Miles Edgeworth. So deep he'd want to frame him for murder. This leads me to surmise that Mr. Edgeworth's dream was not a dream. It was real, as you imagined. Miles Edgeworth threw the pistol to save his father, but the pistol fired and the deed was done. Well, even if he did, he didn't mean to. No, I don't believe it. Yogi was suspected of murder and his career as a bailiff was irrevocably wrecked. Thus, he sought revenge on Miles Edgeworth. This was his last chance, of course, with the statute of limitations so close. What do you know about Edgeworth's father? He was a defense attorney without peer. It sounds trite, but it's true. Well, he may have had one peer now that I think about it. Your mentor, Mia Fey. My sister? Gregory Edgeworth was very disapproving of Mr. Von Karma's technique. That's no surprise. Von Karma is an extreme man. Forged testimonies and evidence are nothing against him, or nothing to him. The result, he has a perfect win record in court. To beat him, Gregory Edgeworth tried to call attention to his methods. And he lost, and died in despair, as it were. I see. When Gregory Edgeworth was killed, the police called on a spirit medium. That was your mother, Misty Fey. I am Gregory Edgeworth. I have been killed. The one who shot me was the bailiff, Yanni Yogi. Yet Yogi was found innocent. That's when my mother left us. Everyone called her a fraud. That's right. Everyone thought she was, you see. Yet, now that I think about it, it seems the one who lied was Gregory Edgeworth's ghost. Gregory Edgeworth must have known who shot him. I don't believe it. So you're saying he falsified his testimony? That Edgeworth's dad lied to protect his son? It's only a possibility, mind you. Or maybe he was mistaken. But a possibility nonetheless. This incident took place 15 years ago tomorrow, so tomorrow we'll see the completion of not one but 2 trials, all thanks to the statute of limitations. However, I'm afraid the damage the DL6 incident has done will never be eased. Oh ho, so this is the letter. It does seem that Yogi was following this letter when he killed Hammond. But why kill Robert Hammond? Hammond was a skilled defense attorney, but he defended, blah blah, his own sake. He never trusted his clients, that one. The only thing that mattered was the verdict, I guess. But he got his client found innocent, so why should it matter? Actually, my dear, it's quite different. He won that innocent verdict, but for no one but himself. Yogi was a free man, but socially he was ruined. Huh? You'll understand soon enough. Wait, what is it? This letter. I've seen this handwriting somewhere before, a long time ago. Whose handwriting was this? Do you have any idea who wrote this? Could it be Manfred von Karma? Von Karma? Why would he have something to do with this? Well, I'm not sure. Von Karma. Wait, you're right, my boy. This is Von Karma's handwriting, I'm sure of it. I used to see it all the time on court reports. What? But that means The one who told Mr. Yogi to kill was... Correct, Manfred von Karma himself. What does this mean then? Why would von Karma want to frame Edgeworth? Gregory Edgeworth was a gifted man. His death was truly a loss. I wonder what would have become of von Karma were he alive. Well, he won the case, didn't he? If he was found innocent. Wasn't he the prosecutor in the DL6 incident? She was a beautiful woman. I'm truly sorry about what I did. Huh? Sorry about what? I think I'll stay out of this one. In any case, it's good that the one shooting isn't Miles. You bet it's good. I can't believe the fiendish planning that went into this murder. And we almost fell right into his trap. What a creep! If it truly was von Karma who wrote this letter, then he would know the truth. He would know that Miles Edgeworth had accidentally killed his own father. He'll say as much tomorrow in court, I should think. He'll press the point until the court finds Miles Edgeworth guilty. Oh no. But how could von Karma know about Mr. Edgeworth's past like that? Even Mr. Edgeworth thought it was just a nightmare. That I do not know. Yet I do know that von Karma is both persistent and a perfectionist. He may be seeking to satisfy a grudge against Gregory Edgeworth by hurting his son. What do you mean? It was 15 years ago. Von Karma met Gregory Edgeworth in court, and von Karma did win. But he didn't make it through the trial unscarred. What happened in the trial between Edgeworth and Dad and von Karma? Von Karma got the guilty verdict he wanted. He won the trial. But Gregory Edgeworth accused von Karma of faulty evidence, and though he lost the trial, Mr. Edgeworth's accusation stood. Faulty evidence? It was the only penalty von Karma has ever received in his career as a prosecutor. Gregory Edgeworth dealt the blow to his perfect trial record. Wow. It must have been quite a shock for von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see. A vacation? Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting. Really? He doesn't take vacations? Like go to the sea or to the mountains? Don't tell me he's never been to Europe! You have strange ideas about vacations, Maya. In any case, that was the only time he took a vacation from work. I believe the penalty upset him quite a lot. Odd. If he wanted to keep a perfect record so badly, why would he take such a long vacation? What do we do, Nick? When Karma is going to bring up DL6, you can bet on it. What if Mr. Edgeworth pleads guilty to DL6? I won't let him! Yes, Mr. Wright, I hate to say this, but even accidental murder is murder, you know? I know that! I just believe in Edgeworth's innocence. Yeah, he was a kid, though. Normally, you're supposed to get judged according to the circumstances of the time of the crime, and he was a kid back then. Can't believe it killed someone. But Nick, Mr. Edgeworth admits it himself. His father must have lied to protect him from beyond the grave. I don't care. I know he's not guilty. Mr. Wright, if you say so, I suppose I could go check again. The police files might hold something of interest. Mr. Grossberg, thank you. I can't promise anything. In fact, I think the chances of finding something are slim. I understand. The police materials, December 27, Police Department, Criminal Affairs. There's hardly anyone here. Everyone must be out looking for the old guy, Yogi. Ah, it's you. I don't think Gumshoe will be coming back today. He's staying out late looking for someone. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe is pounding the pavement for real. We were wondering if we could check out the records room again. Well, now I can't have just anyone wandering around in there. But I guess Mr. Von Karma is in there now anyway. He can go in as long as he's there. Von Karma? Yes, he just arrived, actually. When Karma is in the records room. Nick, let's hurry. December 27, Police Department Records Room. Dusty as always. We were only here just yesterday. I'm sure they just haven't had time to clean. What's wrong, Nick? Nothing. I was just noticing that he isn't there. One Karma. Huh? One of the drawers here is open. Someone must have been looking in it recently. The label says unsolved cases, evidence. Unsolved cases? Nick, the file for DL6, it's completely empty. What? What are you doing in here? Von Karma! You. How do you know my name? Huh? Have we met? What are you saying? We see each other every day, don't we? We are Miles Edgeworth's defense team. Defense team? I beg your pardon, You see, I rarely remember defense attorneys. They are like bugs to me, needless things to be crushed. Yikes! Yikes indeed. I can see how this guy was Edgeworth's mentor. Karma looks like a high-level vampire. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? This large drawer is half open. The label on the drawer reads, Unsolved Cases, Evidence. Only the evidence for the DL6 incident is missing. I can guess who took it too. Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth is your student, right? A romanticist who still can't shed that veneer of amateurism. Just like his father, always second rate. Mr. Von Karma, you had an axe to grind with Mr. Gregory Edgeworth, didn't you? Me? A grudge against a mere defense attorney? Why? Because he dealt a blow to your otherwise perfect trial record. So you did. But what I don't get is, why did you take his son under your wing afterwards? The son of your most bitter rival. That, my dear attorney, is none of your business. Tomorrow will be the last day of this trial. It's been a while since I've had a defense attorney last this long. Still, you will lose in the end. Miles Edgeworth will admit his own guilt. His guilt of 15 years ago, you mean? You're quite the researcher. If you've done your homework so well, then certainly you must understand. You know what Miles Edgeworth will tell the court tomorrow. We were right. So Von Karma is going to bring up DL6 in court tomorrow. Better be careful around him. Fool, you think I, a prosecutor, would give you a defense attorney information? Bah! Creep. Hey, check this out. Okay. Well, I know what kind of item he's going to react to. The letter that he wrote. Yeah, he's not gonna react to anything except that one thing. Yeah, that last one, it's impossible that he's not gonna react to it. Aha! Mr. Von Karma, have a look at this. This was you, wasn't it? You instructed Yanni Yogi to commit murder. Yanni Yogi. How many years has it been since I've heard him called by that name? He's a fool. I told him to burn it after he read it. So you admit it? You wrote Mr. Yogi this letter? Yes, my dear defense attorney. Thank you for taking the trouble to bring it to me. You've saved me from a lot of needless hassle. What? Nick, what is that thing? A stun gun, for self-defense usually. Indeed. 600,000 volts will course through your body like a dog touching an electric fence. 600,000. Oh, don't worry. People don't die from it, usually. Now, give me the letter. No! No! What are you? Nick, run! Ah! Maya! Out of my way. What an asshole. He got us. The letter's gone, of course. And he took the DL6 evidence. All of it. Back to having no clues. Wait, Maya jumped first. Maya, is she okay? Maya! Maya, open your eyes. Maya! The letter. Did he take it? Huh? Oh, yeah. Are you okay? I couldn't stop him. I jumped as fast as I could, but one shot from that thing knocked me out cold. I'm useless. I'm no good as a lawyer or a medium. I can't even call my sister. Not even now when we need her the most. I wish I hadn't woken up at all. Maya! There has to be some way I can help her. I'd better do something about her self-confidence first. Maya, she's holding something. What is that? A bullet? DL6 incident. Evidence number 7. Taken from the heart of Gregory Edgeworth. I remember. Von Karma was holding this when Maya jumped him. DL6 bullet stashed in a pocket. I'll prove it to you, Maya. You're most definitely not useless. I'll prove it to you in court tomorrow. I'm gonna have to stop here, I'm afraid. Although... But it depends. How much longer do I have left? It's the last day of the trial anyway. Oh, I guess I could keep going at least a little. Even if I don't make it to the end. I might make it to the end, but... I'll just keep going. December 28th, 9:51 AM. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. This is it. Judgment Day. Today things are going to get settled at last. A lot of things. What's the big idea? Sorry, Nick. I only touched your shoulder. I guess the shock hasn't worn off from my run-in with the stun gun yesterday. Anyhow, today is the last day of the trial. Good luck, Nick. Yeah, thanks, Maya. Edgeworth is looking glum as always. I hope Von Karma doesn't push him too hard. Whoa! What are you doing? Sorry, I'm sorry. I just thought I'd cheer you up with a pat on the back. Maya, maybe you should go outside and discharge? Right, good idea. Try not to electrocute anyone on your way out. Ooh-yeah, pal! Let's get into that girl. Detective Gumshoe. Morning, Mr. Edgeworth. Good morning. How did it go, Detective? Have no fear. As promised, I've captured our runaway caretaker. I just brought him in. Took all night, pal. Thanks, Detective Gumshoe. You must be tired. Actually, after that shock I got on the way in, I feel pretty good. Yogi says he's forgotten his own name, but that has to be a lie. Why would he want revenge on Edgeworth if he couldn't remember his past? He does remember, and I'm going to prove it. I'm thirsty. Where's my bottle of water? Yay! Phoenix Wright! Hi! T2 Designs! Is it George? Is it you, George? How's it going? Court is now in session for the trial of Miles Edgeworth. It's you. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready. Right, very well. We have reached the final day of our proceedings in this trial. I ask that the prosecution submit decisive evidence. Understood. Come on, don't be awed into silence by every little thing he says. Very well, Mr. Von Karma. Your opening statement. Right. Thanks to Detective Gumshoe's efforts, the boat rental shop caretaker has been arrested. In yesterday's trial, the defense asserted that the caretaker was the murderer. However, the caretaker has yet to confirm this. I would like to ask the defense to cross-examine him as much as necessary. Very well. Please bring the witness into the courtroom. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I believe you all remember our witness. He lives in the boat rental shop on the lake from where he witnessed the incident. In addition, he has currently lost memory of his name and identity. Witness, why did you run away yesterday? The witness was not running away, as he will now testify. I see. Very well. Please begin your testimony. Why I left the court. I'm really sorry about just leaving yesterday like I did, but I wasn't running away or nothing. I went to buy some food for Polly, see? I figured I got nothing to do with this incident anyhow. I mean, I need one of those motive things, right? And I don't got one. So my testimony yesterday stands as is. That's what he's gonna say. That's his line of defense. Very well, let's begin the cross-examination, shall we? He has to know his name. Yanni Yogi. You're Yanni Yogi, and I'm going to prove it. Oh, don't you get to bring the parrot to the stand or something? That's at one point. I'm really sorry about just leaving yesterday like I did. I call what you did running away and not just leaving. You heard Larry's testimony and realized you were in danger. I hate your guts, Von Karma. Now, Mr. Wright, there's no need to rush to conclusions. As I said, the witness was not running away. Listen to the testimony. He sure seems relaxed. In fact, they both do, Von Karma and Yanni Yogi. But I wasn't running away or nothing. And why did you leave? He's just about to say it. Yeah, it is so hard for you to just quietly listen when someone is talking. If I sat quietly, Edgeworth would be guilty in 3 minutes. I went to buy some food for Polly, see? I figured I got nothing to do with this incident anyhow. Oh, yeah. Food? Well, Polly is a bit of a gourmand, you see. She only eats these high-quality bird pellets from France. They only have them in the big pet shop downtown. But you weren't arrested until this morning. Why didn't you go back to the caretaker's shack? Well, I kind of got lost, you see. The witness has trouble remembering things sometimes. When the police apprehended him, he was on his way back to the shack. Yeah, right. Nice try, Von Karma. No one's going to believe that. I see. So he was lost. Please, Your Honor, come to your senses. I figured I got nothing to do with this incident anyhow. You've lost much of your memory, is that correct? Yep. Seems like it. And how could you know that you didn't have anything to do with the incident? Or maybe you're lying about not having your memory. You know exactly who you are. The witness has testified quite clearly that he has no memory of who he is. If you claim he's lying, then show the court proof. How am I supposed to prove what's going on in that old cudger's head? That's impossible. I'm glad you've come to your senses, Mr. Wright. Very well, witness. Please continue. I mean, I need one of those motive things, right? And I don't got one. Is it true that he doesn't have one? He knows that I'm going to have to link him to the DL6 incident, to link him to Edgeworth. He knows that. How can you say you had no motive? I say you do. You had a grudge against Edgeworth and the victim, Robert Hammond. That's why you took revenge on them, right? Please don't make me repeat myself, Mr. Wright. This witness has no memory of anything beyond several years ago. He can't hold a grudge. It's impossible. I have to prove he's lying about his memory. Otherwise, it's going to be the same thing over and over until this trial ends. Might I say something, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. You've been saying the same thing now over and over. You've been calling the witness's memory of the past or lack thereof into question. But does this really have anything to do with the current case? Of course, Your Honor. The witness has said he has nothing to do with this case and no motive. Both of these statements are lies, which means that I have to prove it. I have to bring the DL6 incident on the table, and then Miles Edgeworth will have to testify about it and what he remembers and the fact that he thinks that he killed his own father. Trouble. That's a dangerous line of defense. Phoenix, Mr. Wright, there's a serious problem with your claim. Or are you saying you know who this witness is? Of course, Your Honor. Oh ho, now this is interesting. I would like to know myself, so who is he? Don't play dumb, Von Karma. Mr. Wright, please tell us this witness's name. His name is Yanni Yogi, a former court bailiff. Yogi, that name seems familiar. Oh, Yanni Yogi from the DL6 incident. It figures a judge would have heard of it. It was such a famous case. He might even be old enough to have been a judge around then. But what does this mean? Your Honor, if this man is Mr. Yogi, then he has a clear motive. Jumping to conclusions again, Mr. Wright. This witness is Yanni Yogi. Fascinating. However, how do you propose to prove this to the court? This is a court of law, as you may recall. You need proof. I call the parrot to the stand. This is it. I have to do this now. If I can't prove he's Yogi right here, right now, then I've got nowhere else to go. Nick, how are you going to prove it? How can you prove that he's Yanni Yogi? It's okay. It's actually quite simple. Your Honor, please take this man's fingerprints. Then we'll compare them to the fingerprints on file for Yanni Yogi 15 years ago. I see. That makes sense. Huh? I'm so very, very sorry, Mr. Wright. Why? The witness has no fingerprints. What? What? No fingerprints? You see, before I worked as a caretaker, I worked at a chemical plant. I burnt my fingers working with the stuff. Yep. What? Yogi, you sneak. You burnt your fingerprints off to hide your past. Well, if the witness has no fingerprints, I guess we will not be able to prove his identity. No. Well, what will you do, Mr. Wright? Huh? It seems that the case has been decided, no? No. I know what happened. I know everything. I just can't prove it. But no, I can't let it end like this. I can't lose. There has to be another way. There is no one who can testify as to who this witness is. No one. No. There is someone. I didn't even consider that he might have erased his fingerprints. What do I do? Well, Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to cross-examine this parrot for a little comic relief, Thank you for suggesting it. Yes, I call Polly to the stand. Yeah, very funny. You're a sore winner, Von Karma. Wait a second. Cross-examine his parrot? What is it, Nick? No, you're not going to. Your Honor, the defense would like to take Mr. Von Karma up on this proposal. Take Mr. Von Karma up on my proposal? Exactly, Your Honor. I would like to cross-examine the witness's pet parrot. Order. Well, what do you think, Mr. Von Karma? Did you even ask? This is a farce. I object. Wait a second. You were the one who suggested I cross-examine the parrot, Mr. Von Karma. I have a right to do as you suggested. Well, if you're so desperate, then please be my guest. Of course, should you go through with this, and nothing comes of it, then I hope you're ready for the consequences. Nick, this is crazy. Well, still want to go through with your little game? Oh, yes, I'm doing it. Let the parrot take the stand. I will cross-examine her, Your Honor. This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. Von Karma's rigged every person's testimony, every piece of evidence, except the parrot. She's my last chance. She's not rigged. At least I think so. Bailiff, bring in the parrot. That's quite a bird. Please tell us your name. Name! The witness is ignoring me. It must hurt to be ignored by a bird. Very well, witness. Who is your honor? Please testify for us. Hello, Wright. That was quite the testimony. A parrot in court, what of you? Yeah. Certainly the most concise testimony we've had so far. Very well. Begin your cross-examination, right? What are you going to do, Nick? I don't know. What do we do, Maya? Hello, Brett. Pretty Polly. Objection! Your Honor, that statement contradicts the evidence. No, actually. No. Objection overruled. Yeah, I should think so, yeah. I should save before I go and try to do that kind of thing. Witness, you can't just say hello and expect us to get anywhere. I want you to testify. Maya, you talk to her. Right, what do I say? As I recall, 2 days ago. Polly, have we forgotten something? Right, don't forget DL6, Brett. If I can get Polly to say that here, that will prove that the caretaker had something to do with DL6. Polly, have we forgotten something? Hello, Brett. That's not what you're supposed to say. We forgot. Something we forgot. Hello, Brett. Uh-oh, it's not working, Nick. She won't say it. This is ridiculous. Why won't she say it? Something the matter, Mr. Wright? Wait, don't tell me Von Karma expected this. He couldn't have retrained the parrot, could he? Did he train her not to respond when we asked if we'd forgotten anything? If that's the case, I don't remember this. Let me save again, because if I have to try to trigger a reaction with a piece of evidence... Well, I guess we should try to get some information out of her. We need to show the judge that our owner is Mr. Yogi. Yeah, I know that, but... press the bird on the second thing. On that. Witness, you're here to speak. You must speak to me. Frankly, I can't believe that you're speaking to the parrot. Well, I guess we should try to get some information out of her. Yeah, that's the same thing you already said. Okay, so pressing the bird is not gonna change anything. I need to present something that's gonna trigger a reaction. Or on this one, maybe ask her a different question, not that question. Like, what's your name? Or what's the safe number? What was the safe number again? Wasn't it the date? The date of the case? Wasn't it 1225? Maybe I'll get her to say the number of that safe. Huh, the safe. Why? Let's just try to get her to say anything, okay? Polly, what was the number to the safe in the shack? 1228, 1228. Yeah, that was the date of the murder of Gregory Edgeworth. December 28th. Well, Mr. Wright, you aren't claiming that this number has something to do with the caretaker. Actually, it does, yeah. Actually, it does. That's why I had her say it. Ha, ridiculous. How can the number to a safe tell us who the caretaker is? Show us your proof. What could possibly link this number to the caretaker's true identity? Well, the file... Take that! The DL6 case file? What is this obsession you have with that case? Mr. Wright, where in this file is something relating to that safe number? Case summary, I guess? Yeah, I guess, yeah. It's on the case summary page. The case summary? Specifically the date on which the DL6 incident occurred. The date of the incident? December 28th? Why, that's today's date, 15 years ago. And the number on that safe is 1228. Huh. You used the date of the DL6 incident as the number for his safe, Your Honor. That's how important that date was to him. I see. It certainly is an interesting coincidence. People often do set their secret numbers to dates. Bah, this is not tangible proof. I set my ATM card's number to 0001 because I'm a number one. And that's a pretty dumb thing to do. This has nothing to do with a date. Nothing. Indeed. Alone it is a little weak for evidence in a murder trial. We would need some other corroborating evidence. Where am I going to find that? Nick, we're getting closer. One more. If we can just get one more piece of evidence. Right, but what? The bird's name? Maybe I can tie that to the case? Yeah, he's going to go through the same cycle again. Maybe I should get her to say her name. Polly. Polly, what's your name? Polly. Polly. Mr. Wright, I think we've established that this parrot is named Polly. Does this have anything to do with our owner's identity? It has to. I don't see how else. If you follow the game logic, it has to have a relationship. I just have to find what that is. Ha, fascinating. You claim the parrot's name will prove our owner's identity? In the profiles, maybe. Polly. And show us this proof. Nick, don't you think you're taking the bluffing a little too far? Listen, we're not here to answer the question of who is the caretaker. We're here to prove that he is Yanni Yogi. All we have to do is tie the name Polly to Yogi. Your Honor, the proof that the parrot's name reveals the caretaker's identity is... Huh. Yeah, we're already at that point. I can check the file. I didn't before. Polly Jenkins, his fiancée, committed suicide. Yeah, there we go. On the third page. That's quite a large file you have there. Which page is this proof on, then? Show us or stop wasting our time. Very well, Mr. Wright, please show us the page. Where in this file is this information connected to this parrot's name? Suspect data. It's on the suspect data page. This page has all the information about Yanni Yogi. Right after he was arrested, his fiancée committed suicide, see? Indeed it does say that, yes. What was his fiancée's name? Polly Jenkins? Polly? Exactly, Your Honor. He wanted to remember the name of his fiancée who had committed suicide. That's why he named this parrot after her. I see. I guess that is possible. Bah, a mere coincidence, that's all. But that's two coincidences. My granddaughter has a dog she calls Phoenix. Well, Mr. Phoenix Wright, does this make you my granddaughter's fiancé? He's only 7 years old. That's enough. I think we've reached a conclusion here. This is a mere coincidence, that's all. True, that is a possibility. However, two coincidences at the same time seems more like a pattern to me. What are you saying? Summon the caretaker of the boat shop, immediately. Witness, tell us your name. Wait, this witness, he doesn't remember. No, it's okay. Ooh. He looks a lot better that way, don't you think? I've accomplished what I wanted to do. I'm done. Nick, he looks totally different. This is the real Yogi, I think. Finally. He's been acting feeble to hide his true identity. Acting for 15 years. Well, let me ask you again. Please state your name for the court. My name is Yanni Yogi. 15 years ago, I served as a bailiff in this very court. Order! Order! Yanni Yogi! So was it you who killed Robert Hammond and tried to frame Miles Edgeworth for his death? Yes, it was me. I did it. They put me on the witness stand 15 years ago. Robert Hammond, he said I was mentally unsound. He told me it would make me innocent, get me off the hook, so I pretended to have brain damage. I was innocent, really, but it didn't believe me. We won the trial, but I lost everything. I lost my job, my fiancée, my social standing. Then, this year, 15 years later, a package arrived. It was a letter, an epistle. The plan was written out in careful detail. It was a plan for me to take my revenge on the people who ruined my life. I didn't care who had sent it. I thought this was my chance after 15 years. This was it. Finally a chance to have my revenge on Robert Hammond and Miles Edgeworth. I have no regrets. Wait a moment. Revenge against Miles Edgeworth? What do you mean? I'm not at liberty to speak on that matter. Why don't you ask Mr. Edgeworth yourself? Anyway, I admit it. I was the one who killed Robert Hammond. Von Karma, where is Mr. Yogi? Under arrest, Your Honor. I saw no room for error in his confession. Then, the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, is innocent, in this case at least. Very well, will the defendant please take the stand? There are a few mysteries left unsolved. Still, you are cleared of suspicion for this particular case, so I would like to pass judgment on the murder of Mr. Robert Hammond. Any objections? I don't believe it. Why isn't Von Karma saying anything? Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Why do I feel like this is too easy and like this went by too quick? Not guilty. It's not over, is it? That is all. This court is adjourned. It's not over. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. Did someone just say objection? It wasn't Von Karma. Wait, but that means... No. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I object to your judgment. What do you mean? Last second, yeah. I'm not innocent at all. As we have heard, Yanni Yogi killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what? Nick, Edgeworth is trying to confess. He's going to say he's guilty. He's going to tell them he was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He's going to tell them he killed his own dad. Uh-oh, what do I do? Milesy, what are you doing? Objection! Judgment has already been passed. I object to Edgeworth's outburst. Didn't something like this happen yesterday too? I believe a certain witness raised an objection after a guilty verdict was passed. That would be Larry. We must hear this new statement. We must hear Miles Edgeworth. He's right. We have a duty to hear Mr. Edgeworth out. Huh. Moron! For 15 years, I have had a recurring dream. A nightmare. It's only a nightmare. That's what I told myself, but now I know it wasn't a dream. Yanni Yogi wasn't the killer. You mean, in the incident where your father died? From the distance of the shot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was as clear as day. The murderer, the criminal in the DL6 incident. It was me. Your Honor, I confess my guilt. I am guilty for DL6, the statute of limitations of which ends today. The culprit is me. Where are you pointing then? Order! Order! This is certainly unexpected. The defendant, declared innocent, is confessing to a different crime. Yeah, it is intense, I know. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to finish this chapter today. Crime for which the statute of limitations runs out today. I'm not really sure how I should deal with this. Bah. Yeah, you can always watch the remainder on YouTube, yeah, later, if need be. Yeah, I will definitely want to watch that, like, yeah, in a short moment. Yeah, I think I'm gonna save here maybe and come back tomorrow anyway. Because I'm running out of time. It's obvious we hold a trial right here, right now. We tried this man for his crime of 15 years ago. Yeah, because I think this is going to be a lot longer now. During this time, I would consider the appropriate course of action to take. Course is adjourned. Yeah, this is the perfect time to stop and save. Right, okay. I'll be back to... Well, hopefully I will be back tomorrow then, guys, with the rest of this. Thank you for watching, and have a good one until then.